What is going on, nation? What is up, nation? This is a Wise Take NBA DFS podcast. I am the host, Paulie D, and I'm joined by my friend BK. What's going on, BK?
Nothing much. Worst slate of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been an ugly one. This time of the year it gets tricky. It's funny. Right, we had a couple extra minutes before this. I started looking at tomorrow's slate, and I'm like, which of these teams, have stuff to play for? It's like with DFS, you fall out of like following the standings. I didn't even realize Toronto's the 1 seed in the East, and like how jumbled up the West Coast is. So, that's definitely something to pay attention to. We'll be talking about it. We're going to go game by game. We got a little 5-game slate. I like the smaller slates this time of year. Less, craziness, less, games to worry about. You can kind of really hone in. So I may play a little larger tomorrow. Thursdays seem to be a good day for me. Have you looked at the slate at all?
Yeah, I glanced at it. Deep at a couple positions, but it overall is kind of gross.
Yeah, so we got Brooklyn. None of these teams on a back-to-back, which is nice. All these teams are fresh. Let's just jump in. First game, we got Brooklyn visiting the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte's a 7-point favorite, and over-under of 217.5. What do you like here?
All right, give me 1 second.
All right.
Give me for a loop going game by game, but let's start. So Brooklyn first, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn, Charlotte.
All right. So starting at point guard, obviously Kemba Walker. These two teams played like a week and a half ago, so we get somewhat of an idea of how it plays out. Definitely could play Kemba here. He's from the New York area, but game is in Charlotte. He did play well in that last game. He plays well against New York teams, so I do like him there. 9K is kind of expensive, but on this slate, I could definitely see myself going there. Dinwiddie, I mean, he's pretty consistent. Not a really like a sexy name to play because, I mean, very unlikely that he puts up a 40 or a 50. So he's kind of safe, but I don't think he's going to be like the kind of guy who will win you a GPP. Shooting guard, D'Angelo Russell, I would assume he may be somewhat high owned, but I don't really like to play him in these type of matchups. To me, I think against someone like Batum or MKG, I consider Charlotte a tough matchup for shooting guards, small forwards, in my opinion, just watching them play and the length, kind of. LeVert, definitely could play him. He might eventually be like pretty close to 6K player. He's getting more minutes.
What's his price right now?
5-1.
5-1. Okay, not too bad.
He was like 4-1, so he went up $1,000 in one game. What did he put up? Wow, he only put up 24, but I guess it's kind of more of a minutes thing now. So, but yeah, he should be getting 30 minutes a game, especially if the game stays close. That last game was a blowout, wasn't it?
Against Golden State, they hung in there. It was close till late. I think in the end, Golden State won by like 15-20, but it was close pretty late. So,
So he probably didn't get his last couple of minutes, I would assume. So he probably would have got closer to 30. Okay. But yeah, while he's still under 6K, I could still definitely play him. Nicholas Batum, he played pretty well in that last matchup. I definitely like him. He's playing a lot better. He gets way more assists now. He gets rebounds. Definitely more involved, higher usage. Definitely like him. Small forward, let's see.
You got MKG like crazy cheap.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of game where you like to play MKG, but the minutes aren't there. Last 2 games, under 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He just came back from an injury, right?
Yeah, I think he actually left one of those last 2 games at halftime too, like with a little injury, but not exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what the minutes are going to be like. He could go back up to I would assume after these last couple of games, he should go back up to at least 20 to 25, I would say. And yeah, he's really cheap, so definitely in play. Dante Cunningham, this is the game when he went off last time, but the situation isn't exactly the same. He's still playing relatively the same amount of minutes. He went for 45 in that last game against Charlotte, something like that, when you had him.
Yeah, that was crazy. That'll never happen again.
But no, not that high. Especially because Rondé Hollis-Jefferson wasn't there, I believe. LeVert wasn't there, right? So
yeah,
different situation. I did play him in the last game, but that was paced up against the Warriors, and I don't think he did that great. But let me see what he did. Was he in the 20s?
If he did
bad.
He's like 18-ish, I think is what he scored.
23 minutes. No, worse than that. He did 12.
Yeah, he's backing up the center, so like the Jahlil Okafor project, I think that's over. I don't know. He hasn't played in a while. So like as of right now, Cunningham's minutes are fairly safe because he's backing up Jared Allen. But
so that means that AC's out too, or AC's backing up?
AC's playing, but he just hasn't gotten a lot of minutes lately. Like he seems to have fallen out of the rotation.
All right. So yeah, I mean, definitely a risky play there, but does have some upside at that price.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Alan Crabb, he's kind of a streaky player. He hasn't been playing great as of late. He's the kind of guy who you want to ride him when he's shooting well. Right now, he's not. But 4,800, that could be a sneaky play. Damari Carroll, I won't play him against MKG or Batum defense. He is somewhat priced up, and he's under 30 minutes a game now with the other guys back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Power forward. Hollis Jefferson, he is going to continue to come off the bench. I did like him in that last game, but he let me down. He is supposed to be getting close to 30 minutes a game. So I could see them going to that here. And Charlie is playing paced up. Have they continued to play that super fast pace that they were playing? I haven't checked them too recently.
Who are you asking about?
Charlotte. Are they still playing at that super high pace?
They are playing very fast, though.
Yeah.
They're
really playing bad too, because a lot of teams are blowing them out. Like Philly scored 118 or something like that against, or was it 130?
Yeah. They are not good. They're one of those teams not playing for anything. Both these teams.
I mean, it could be sneaky too. This whole game could be sneaky because if they're going to play that fast and that bad defensively, these teams can go off against them like they have. Kaminsky, he's still going to play 20 to 25 minutes in this spot against Brooklyn. So that could be a good play, but he just hasn't been playing that great. And at center, obviously, Dwight Howard, he crushed him last time out, I think, in only 29 minutes. So basically, it's just a matter of whether the game stays close or not. If it does, he'll probably crush them for probably around 50. So he's definitely going to be popular tomorrow, and I definitely like him.
What's the FanDuel price?
8,400.
8,400. Yeah, 83 on DraftKings. I mean, centers have been crushing the Nets all season long. He's definitely interesting to me. I could see a world where you play Kemba or Batum. I don't think I'd play them both, but they're both in good spots here. MKG, I have to know that he's healthy and he's going to play. Wisco actually said in the chat that he got ejected that last game. He left for injury, so he's healthy. 3-7, this is the spot where I could see him getting right. I don't think he'll kill you regardless. So if he allows you to get somebody better at another position, I'm fine with it. At the end when we go top threes at the positions, we'll see if there's other options. Small forwards usually ugly, so I don't mind punting it. On the Brooklyn side, D'Angelo Russell, I do have some interest in. Let me see what his DraftKings price is. Last week he was 6.5 when he was 7.5 on FanDuel. So if he's cheap, I don't mind it. I don't really want to pay he is 6,700. So I could entertain that. I like the shot attempts. I like now that he's starting the minutes. He played 34 minutes against Golden State, took 14 shots, 6 threes. He's getting assists. I like his role. And then Karis LeVert, really impressed with the usage.
What's he on DK?
Price on DK, I believe it was 4.8.
Yeah, that's really reasonable.
Yeah, and the usage numbers are really impressive. When he gets in, he is very, very active. He's not one of these guys staying in the corner. He's rebounding, getting assists, taking shots. 4.8, yeah. So that's definitely someone I have interest in. You could actually play them both on the same team on FanDuel at shooting guard. I would want to run it back with somebody from Charlotte. Overall, though, there's other games on this slate. This is one of the earlier ones. It'll probably have a little more ownership. I don't know if I'm going to have too much. Maybe one or two guys for me. There's a couple other spots I like. Let's jump into this next game. We got the Philadelphia 76ers, currently the 6th seed in the East, facing the Miami Heat, currently the 7th seed. We got a 1-point spread in favor of Philadelphia and a 208.5 over-under. I don't think there's any notable injuries either in this game. But if we come across them as we go through the positions, we'll mention.
All right.
What's your thoughts on this game?
All right, starting at point guard, Dragic really hasn't done well in this matchup. I think it's because they're more of a lengthier team. He's played them twice recently and hasn't done that great. Tyler Johnson, he killed it in his last game.
Hold up, let me back you up. No, I'm sorry. Never mind. Keep going. All
right. Tyler Johnson had a really good game last time out. His price only went up $200 on FanDuel. I believe it was $5K for that last game. So he played 38 minutes. Was that overtime? Let me see. No, I don't believe so.
Who was it again?
Actually, yeah, I think it was against the Wizards. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, I think go to overtime. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. But even without the overtime, that would have been 33 minutes. So I'm guessing he's back to playing 30 minutes. He did start the second half, I believe, over Luke Babbitt.
Yeah, he did.
So my guess is that he'll likely start here. Matchup-wise, he has the advantage. He's going to get J.J. Redick defense, so definitely like him. One of my favorite point guards, point per dollar. Let's see. Shooting guard. D-Wade at 5,100. Not really sure I can go there. I mean, like I said, Philly is lengthy. But he does have high usage over the bench. Last couple of games, they've been all right. 30 in 3 of the last 5. So, but I mean, at this price, you got to give you 30. I think I'll probably pass at this price. JJ Redick's price went down. He is now under 5K, and he usually lands in that ballpark range of 25 FanDuel points. So that'll be close to 6X, but he's not the kind of guy who will win your GPP. He's more of a cash game play, I would say. Not a lot of upside.
Yeah.
At small forward, Covington's playing a lot better. The last game against Miami was like the last game where he kind of sucked, and then he started playing better since then. So we don't really know how he is going to go at it this time because he's played him twice recently, and they both were terrible. But that's when he was playing like complete garbage. Still a reasonable price at 5,600. So I can go there. I mean, he's the kind of guy who can get you some steals. Not super sexy play there either. Justin Winslow, he's on fire right now. He played a ton of minutes the last game, and that was a back-to-back. Seems like things are clicking for him. He was a young player who just took a while to kind of get acclimated to the system, and he's playing really well now. 5K is kind of risky because I think he'll be popular, and now might be a time to jump off just for this game, because he might let everybody down tomorrow.
Yep.
Saric has been really, really consistent. Not super high upside, though, on this price. He's 6,300, so probably more of a cash game play. He's been really, really consistent pretty much every game. Olynyk, 4,600 off the bench, right? Yeah, because I got James Johnson starting. 4,600 is okay, but the minutes aren't really there because they're kind of deep at the forward spot with Richardson, with Olynyk, James Johnson, Bam, and Whiteside. So that might be a pass for me. James Johnson's 4,300, and he has not been that great, so he should be somewhat low owned. I could go there on this 5-game slate, so I like that. And what's going on with Bam?
Yeah, he seems to be like the odd man out now that they're a little more healthy. maybe on a back-to-back, I could take a shot on him, but
Yeah, but
last
the
few
coach really, I mean,
games,
he was like getting more. He was playing better than Whiteside.
I
Like
know
they were really. I feel like the coach is what liked him, but then was it an injury or a personal issue that had him sidelined?
he missed one game for like a personal thing. I think a family member
Yeah,
died,
personal.
and
And then ever since then, it's just like nothing.
yeah,
That
it's
worries me.
yeah, it
It
is.
definitely wasn't. It was a death in the family. Did they say
Yeah,
that or?
yeah, it was a death in his family. I'm positive.
Hmm. So basically, that happened to him. He comes back and is like, "All right, sorry, you're not gonna play anymore."
And
That's
even
terrible.
like right before that, he had like that one monster game right before it. But then the game before that, he had like a 9 in limited minutes. It's hard to
Yeah.
figure out his role. You'd be taking a big risk. Playing him right now.
Yeah, I mean, the last slate, I think I played him in one lineup, but he was only like 0.4%. Like no one's playing him, so. But there is going to be a game where he's going to go right back to that 20 minutes, and if you have him that day, and you have a good lineup around him, that
Yeah.
could be a difference in your lineup. I just don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. We don't really know. So if you're multi-entering lineups somewhere, if you want to throw a $1 donkey lineup with him in it, might pay off when he eventually goes off.
Sure.
And then lastly, at center, Embiid has not done great against Miami lately. Whiteside has. Whiteside is playing 30 minutes against Embiid whenever they play against each other, and he has crushed in both spots. 49.7 the last game, and before that, 38.5. So at 7K, I could definitely play him.
Whiteside
Embiid,
is 7K.
7K on FanDuel, yeah, nice
Wow.
price.
Wow.
Embiid, on the other hand, has not played well lately against them. And the last two games, only 30 FanDuel points. So I don't know if that's going to make him low owned. But it could be I mean, if you're playing cash, I'd rather go Whiteside. But, in a GPP, I'll throw Embiid in it because this kind of situation happened recently. Like, I think it was Howard. Was it Howard and Embiid? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
Embiid was crushing Howard. And the last game they played against each other, Howard destroyed him, and no one had him because of what happened with their recent history. So if that flip flops here, you get an advantage if you play Embiid and he goes off and Whiteside duds. So a nice GPP pivot there, and that's it for this game.
Yeah, looking at it, there's not too much I like here myself. I'm with you on the Tyler Johnson. On FanDuel, he's cheap. Let me see what he is here on DraftKings. 5,200, so same price. I like him. Miami's going to be getting paced up here, but both these teams play fairly decent defense. There's not like any really position that beats up either of these teams. Point guards have been doing decent against Miami lately. I just don't think I'm going to go to Ben Simmons on this slate, pay that price. So I don't know. I'm with you. Like I could take a shot on Embiid on DraftKings. He's 9.5. Like he can go off in any game. He's probably the main like expensive guy that I would take a shot on here. But this is the lowest over under on the slate, and likely a game I will not have too much exposure to either. There's no real value plays that are opening up. Justice Winslow, he's 4,500 on DraftKings, so like he's going to be popular over there. I understand it. I agree with you. It seems like like a light switch went on. He's figuring his stuff out. He's getting the minutes. I expect him to continue to play him. He'll probably play in close games and blowouts. Philly's got some size, so I see Miami playing Winslow a bit more here. He's probably the only guy on DraftKings at that price that you have to consider. He's going to be very popular, but sometimes you got to roll with the chalk if it's if it's going to be solid. He's definitely a guy that can bust, but judging by his recent performances, it's going to be a tough fade at that price. What'd you say it was on FanDuel? 52?
51.
51. It's a little higher. You're looking for 30 now. I mean, he's been putting that up. But at 4.5, 27 is 6x. Like that's pretty much his last 6 games. He's put up a 25, a 43, a 27, a 31, 110 actually against Philly, but he only played 19 minutes, and then a 37 against Memphis. I think he's part of the reason that Bam has lost some minutes too. It's like
Yeah,
Winslow's
that's true.
outplayed him and taken away those minutes, doing it on the rebounding edge. At 4-5 on DraftKings, he's definitely in consideration. Otherwise, none of these guys are really too interesting to me. Robert Covington, he's been playing well, but now his price is back up in a pace down spot. Not going to do that. Yeah, TJ McConnell, 3,500. You can always throw a dart at him in tournaments, right? Like, hard to predict when his good games
so
are
bad.
come.
Crazy. He was so consistent at one point, and then now he's just like so terrible. He usually has like a good first half, and then does nothing in the second half.
Yeah,
And it's usually when he has the big games, it's based off of steals. Like he'll have one game, he'll have like 5 steals, and he'll just go off like 30.
Yeah.
Those 2 steals that he had the last game were like in the first like 6 minutes of the game, and then he was on pace to have a good game. He had like 15 at the half, and he ended up with like 24, which was okay for that price, definitely. But if he doesn't get those steals, he doesn't pay it off on FanDuel.
Yep. No, I'm with you. Definitely, but it's just like a tournament dart, donkey dart. You can always do it. It helps open up some other stuff. I don't think he'll kill you. Got 22 his last game, like 21 against Miami in 24 minutes. We haven't really talked about too much good value just yet. There's only 3 games to go. It's something you can consider, but I'm really not too interested in this game for the most part. Move it over to the third game. This is an interesting one. We got the Boston Celtics traveling to Minnesota. Boston is a 2-point favorite and a 214.5 over/under. What are your thoughts on this one?
Let's see. So Kyrie coming off an injury. Originally, they said that he was supposed to miss a couple games. Coming back, that kind of worries me. Coming back this quick, I doubt he plays 35 minutes tomorrow. But he's priced at a point where you need him to. Definitely a great matchup against Jeff Teague. But to me, it's kind of risky because unless they give us word that there's no minutes restriction, I don't really want to play him at 8,500 because even when he's playing those full amount of minutes, I mean, he doesn't always go off for 40 or 50. I mean, sometimes we used to call him Mr. 4X earlier in the season because he would rarely hit 40. So, but definitely has some upside because if he's low owned and it's a 5-game slate, he puts up 55. Guess what? He's going to be on a winning team. So, definitely has some GPP value there. Jeff Teague at 7,400. What's he on DraftKings?
Jeff Teague. Let me see.
I can't pay his FanDuel price.
What's the FanDuel price?
74.
74. Jeff Teague is 7,000 even.
That's reasonable. I mean, you definitely can go there in cash. I mean, he hasn't been bad. He's been putting up 30s, close to 40s. But Jeff Teague at 7,400, man.
The usage has been phenomenal. 39.5 the last game against Utah, 24.3, 31.0, 27.6 since Butler went down. Like, those are good numbers. Taking 15 shots, a handful of threes. The assists were down last game against Utah, but before that, 5, 7, 7. You can probably count on about 5 assists. Boston, you do want to pick on point guards. He's someone I think that's worth considering, especially if you're going to attack this game.
And it's against Kyrie, who's not the greatest of defenders. If Kyrie's a little bit hobbled, he has an advantage there. But I'd rather probably play him on DraftKings. Just for me to pay this price on FanDuel it's tough. But I could just be biased because I'm not the biggest of Jeff Teague fans. But probably a better cash game play in my opinion. Rozier is 6K. The only way I would play him at this point is if they said that Kyrie was going to be limited. Because he has been putting up decent scores. But at this point, you want 36 FanDuel points at this price. So only way I play him is if Kyrie's limited. Shooting guards, Wiggins is more of a cash game play. Like the last 4 games, I think it was, it's been like in the 30s, but like low 30s. So this price, you want almost 40 for GPPs, and he's just not doing it. This is a good defensive team against wings, so I won't go there in GPPs. I'll fade him. Jalen Brown's interesting, 5,200. He's really inconsistent, which is opposite from what he was doing early in the year. He was putting up 25s and 30s early in the year, and I was playing him in cash games pretty much every slate. But now he has a couple duds here and there. But the price is okay. I wouldn't play him in cash, but that would be more of a GPP play because he could go off for 40 and give you a GPP winning lineup. Marcus Smart, 5K is too expensive. Crawford, too expensive. That's it for shooting guard. Small forward. Tatum is cheap. He's 4,700 on FanDuel. But it's kind of the same thing with him. He's not that consistent, but I mean, 6X is only close to, it's not even 30. It's less than 30. So that's definitely interesting. Especially if he's going to play some power forward, which he does sometimes against Taj Gibson. Stretch 4 against Gibson, I like. So he's interesting. This is a really good price for him. I mean, if he's cheaper than that on DraftKings, then that could be almost a must play. I really like that price.
Who are you talking about?
Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Tatum is 5K even. You got him at what, 4.6?
4.7.
4.7.
Yeah, I would not play him on DraftKings then.
300 more?
Nah, I don't play guys on DraftKings unless they're cheaper than they are on FanDuel, and usually they're like $1,000 cheaper.
Yep. Okay.
So I'd rather play him on FanDuel, especially with steals and blocks, gets you extra points, than I would on DraftKings.
True that.
Power forward, Taj Gibson, 5,600. This is the price range where I could definitely play him. This game should definitely be close. So you could get 35 minutes here from Taj, which I definitely could do that. Probably wouldn't do that in GPPs because the ceiling isn't that much, but the cash game value is good. Marcus Smart is one of those plays on this slate, and there's a lot of them where a lot of iffy plays, like guys that aren't that consistent, but they could really go off. He's kind of a stretch 4 against Taj, so I could go there. And the price is okay, 4,900, but the minutes.
Do you mean Marcus Morris?
Yeah, what did I say? Did I say Marcus Smart?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Marcus Morris. He was playing more than 30 minutes, but 2 of the last 3, it was just 22 minutes and 21. I mean, those were probably blowouts. The Chicago game was definitely a blowout. The Charlotte game, I think, was a blowout as well, right?
It was a massive blowout.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the game is close, then I guess he's going to get 30 minutes. So 4,900 is actually not that bad. And then at center, I definitely love Cat. He had a 70-point game his last time out, 2 games ago. Against Utah, he dudded, but against Gobert has been really, really good of late. But before that, he was crushing. He put up 71 and 59 before that against Sacramento and Portland. We all know bigs against Boston is definitely a way you want to attack. I like the matchup against Horford. To me, Horford has been I watched him play, and he looks like a 40-year-old guy out there. Like, he just has no athleticism. Like, I feel like this guy's going to retire in 2 years. So Towns could really crush him here. And then again, on the flip side with Al Horford, I just can't do it. He did go off at the first half of the last game, but that's with no Kyrie because the usage was there. Obviously, of course, they ran the ball through him. But when Kyrie's there, he's just not doing anything.
Yep.
I've actually liked the way Greg Monroe has been playing. He was getting more minutes. And to me, it's because, like I said, watching these games, to me, Greg Monroe looks a lot better than Horford. So going forward down the rest of the season, I'll probably go back to what I was doing before, and I'm going to start playing Greg Monroe in some lineups. He has been paying off. Yeah. At 4,400, he could still pay it off, if he plays 20 minutes.
Same price on DK. Yeah, I mean, he's a point per minute beast. The kind of guy you need, like Horford is really a 4. Like, he's not a center. And Greg Monroe is a center. So, when you go up against a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns, you're going to need a guy like Monroe to get in there and get your rebounds and, help slow a guy like that down. What's Karl-Anthony Towns' price on FanDuel?
He's 10-4.
Wow. I mean, that's a big price, but like you said, he has paid that off a bunch lately. He's 9-3 on DraftKings, and I really like him there.
Definitely like that, yeah.
Centers beat up the Celtics. Even if Monroe does play, he's not really known for his defense. He's an offensive center. I really like Karl-Anthony Towns on this slate.
Who do they
Uh,
have to guard him? I mean, Horford and Baines
Horford,
are not they're not good matchups for Towns.
none
No
of
one,
them.
right? I mean, could they put Theus on him maybe? He's
Uh,
smaller, but he's more athletic. I mean, that would probably be the better matchup, I would say. Because Baines and Horford are going to get destroyed if they're on him for long periods of time.
I mean, I think Horford's going to be the one that gets him the most. Like, Theus isn't really playing much more than 15, 20 minutes, and he just got back from like a couple games off for injury.
They played on January 5th. Theus got 24 minutes that game. He put up 21.5.
January 5th. Well, Marcus Morris probably wasn't around yet. Let's take a look at that game. It's not, too far away, but things have changed since then. You said January 5th?
Yeah, January 5th.
Okay. So it was in Boston, 91-84. Boston won. Karl-Anthony Towns had 23 rebounds, 25 points on 9 of 6 shooting. Butler was there too.
Wow.
So that shows you that,
we found our stud of the day for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked about many other studs. And on the Celtics side, I have Kyrie, Baines, Brown, Horford, Tatum. That's like their starting five now, right? Yeah. Kyrie, Baines, Brown, and then Smart, Rozier, and Theus off the bench. So yeah, there was no Marcus Morris, and
okay, yeah,
and it looks, yeah. So I mean, they could go to him, but I mean, Horford played 31 minutes that game too. I think they're going to stick to their rotations and just try to limit it as much as possible. But I definitely have interest in Karl-Anthony Towns. Oh man, it's interesting. Like, I think this will be like one of the lower owned games because you'll see the next two are pretty solid. Like, maybe I do want to get a couple players in this game. Kyrie has had some solid performances lately. He had a 60 against the Knicks. That's the Knicks. Everyone kills the Knicks. All guards do. 48 against the Clippers, another cupcake matchup. 50 against Charlotte. Then he kind of dudded against Houston. I think he had missed a game in between there for injury. 8K on DraftKings. Like, I don't mind that correlation with Karl-Anthony Towns, like the two studs, and I expect this game to be close. Vegas does too. There's not really much more though in this game that really, really excites me. What's Gorgeous Dong's minutes been like since?
Not that great. Like 18. Hasn't even been like not even 20.
Yeah, 18, 23, 21, 20. Yep, nothing too exciting. Bielitsa 5,200. No thanks. Wiggins. Let's take a look into Wiggins. He's, the first time that Butler got hurt, Wiggins was like putting up 40s every night, and it's been different this time around.
Now it's Teague.
So he put up 34 against Utah, took 19 shots. The usage has been high the last 3 games. 37, 31, and 22. The minutes are obviously secure. He just doesn't do anything else. Steals and blocks, very rare. Rebounds, 3, 5, 1, 2, 4. Assists, 1, 3, 2. So he's just not really, he's so scoring dependent. He's 6'3" on DraftKings. Scoring guards do well against Boston, but I don't think I'm going to do it. If anything, maybe it's Kyrie with Cat, or maybe just Cat by himself in this game. I can't point anything else that really interests me.
Marcus Morris, I think at that price, the game should be close, so he'll get 30 minutes. I like that. That interests me a little bit too, especially against Taj Gibson. So those are probably the 2 players I like.
What's his price?
49 on FanDuel.
49, 54 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I guess I wouldn't mind that. When he plays, the usage is high, he takes shots, just needs to hit them. I don't mind that, but we'll see. We'll see when we get to positions if he's still in our top 3. Next game up, we got the Phoenix Suns traveling to Oklahoma City. These two teams played recently. We got OKC, the 7 seed currently right now, hanging on for a playoff berth. 10.5-point favorites with a 228 over under. There's got to be stuff we like here. This is a phenomenal DFS game.
I mean, these two teams just play each other, so to me, this game is easy. Westbrook is definitely a lock for me. Mm-hmm. If I'm building one lineup, Westbrook will be in it. He put up 70 against them. Phoenix is playing a lot better, so I expect the game to be somewhat close. The last couple of games, I think they've gotten kind of beat up, but I think they'll keep it close. So I definitely like Westbrook and Peyton. Peyton went for 50 in the spot recently, so I can go there. Devin Booker, I don't think I'll ever fade him again. I didn't play him that night, and he was the reason I didn't cash that night because I did not play him, and he was super chalky. I think I went with like Lou Williams or something that night. So Booker, I will not fade him. Definitely will not fade him here. That's it for shooting guards. There's a lot of scrubs here who don't get much playing time. Paul George gets TJ Warren defense. He's 8,900. You kind of want 50 at this price. He's just not doing it. I consider TJ Warren an okay defender. You could probably play him if you're going to fade Westbrook, but otherwise I wouldn't. So it's Westbrook for me, and I probably won't have Paul George. It is a 5-game slate, so I mean I haven't built any lineups yet. If he ends up falling in my lineup because I got value elsewhere, then I could do that. But as of right now, I don't love him that much. It's a great spot, though, just because of the pace. TJ Warren against Paul George. Paul George gets him probably to start the game. Booker gets him when he starts to go off, which that happened last time. I did see Paul George on Booker. Didn't really stop him much because he still went off. So I don't love TJ Warren. Josh Jackson off the bench has played well in the last couple of games. He's getting right around 25, 28 minutes. So I could go there. My sneaky play from this game is definitely Corey Brewer. I'm just going to keep playing this guy until he wins me something. Because as soon as they got him, I knew that eventually like his minutes are going to get there. He's going to start. I guarantee you right now, at some point this season, he's going to start. The last game against Houston, he played 23 minutes. The first game, just 11. So his minutes doubled. 23 minutes against Houston for his, and I watched the game. I'm sure you did too. And, he's athletic. He moves around. The guy's like a guy who just drank 5 Red Bulls. Like, he's all over the place. He wants the minutes, so he's got some, he's trying to prove something. And he's min price on FanDuel against the Suns. I don't think he'll be high owned at all.
No,
so to me, that's going to be a spot where I'm going to differentiate from everybody else on a 5-game slate. And he might be in my main lineup. Like, I'm not saying everyone should play him, from the nation, but I probably will because I have a feeling that this guy is going to be a good player for them. Not a stud, but he's going to be pretty serviceable for OKC, and I think he'll be their starting shooting guard at some point.
Yep. I mean, the guy in front of him ain't like nothing to worry about. I could see it. What else?
Melo's a pass. He is 6K. I was playing him when he was in the 5K range. It's a great spot. Power forwards against the Suns, but even in this spot last week, he didn't do that great. He's priced at a point when you want 36, and that's just like not happening. Like, he's scoring in the 20s every single time. I don't want 4X. So I'm passing on Carmelo. If he beats me, he beats me. I'll move on to the next slate. I know you love Marquise Chris. I've seen him in your lineups like every night.
He's actually been paying off lately, man. But
last 2 games, I think, were pretty good, right? Was it the last 2? 22 and 38, yeah.
Finally. I had to endure a lot of pain, though, before that.
I like playing him when he starts, man. Off the bench, like, I'm noticing that these teams, like today, the Kings absolutely killed me. So, like, these teams that just got nothing to really play for, I want to stay away, to be honest. Like, for example, today, Detroit and Toronto was like the first game of the slate that no one was interested in. And that game went to overtime. That game went off. Like, I want to focus on some of these teams that have playoff aspirations. 2 playoff teams facing each other. Like, those are the kind of games that I'm going to be stacking. Maybe not my main team, but I am gonna have exposure to those type of games going forward because these teams that don't have anything to play for are just kind of doing whatever the hell they want from game to game. So, but Chris at 4,600, I'd rather play him if he starts, but he's not. But he can be a sneaky play, I would assume. Jeremy Grant, 3,900, almost min price. This is a great spot for him where he can get some steals and blocks, paced up. Probably someone you might have in your cheat sheet tomorrow, maybe.
Probably.
I could see that. Bender has been god awful. Guy's playing 30 minutes a game and doing nothing. He's almost min price. That's a pass. If he beats me again, I'll just move on to the next slate. I can't play this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then at center, Steven Adams he hasn't been great. He's priced up where you want 40, but he's putting 28 to 35 FanDuel points in that range.
What's his price?
He's 71.
6'9" on DK.
Yeah, 6'9". Okay, so a little bit better over there, almost the same, but you can play him in cash. I wouldn't play him in GPPs because he's just not showing much of a ceiling. Tyson Chandler is starting. He definitely should start this game. 4,300. He should play probably around 25 minutes. I can go there at that price. And Len, like I said, they were winning games, and they said, Len, sorry, we're winning too many games, man. You got to sit down. So he's not playing. He's out of the rotation. Last 2 games, I think it was.
Yeah.
Nothing. He was playing great.
Crazy what's happened to his minutes.
Not really I don't know. Sure. That's like a slap in the face to a young guy who is trying to make a name for himself. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of unmotivating him, really. But I can't go there right now because the minutes are just not there.
I hear you, man. I'm not really sure what to make of that situation. It's, it's crazy because, like, if he were to get 25, 30 minutes, he could do really well and, be a great GPP guy. But, those minutes, they're pretty scary.
Yeah.
I have liked the way the Suns have been playing. They're fighting. They're just not that good, so they usually end up losing.
To be honest, ever since Chandler's been back, that's when they started losing. Like, they were playing better with Len.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that kind of scares me if I want to play Westbrook down. That kind of scares me because what if they get blown out here and then that takes that play away? But we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. Elf is definitely in play. He's 7,500 on DraftKings. What was his FanDuel price that you said you liked him at?
Who?
Elf.
73.
73. We'll see. He was
about that same price last game, and he went for 50. So
I can definitely play Elf, but it depends. I have definite interest in Westbrook. He's 11-8 on DraftKings. Definite spot for a triple-double. And they need to win. So, like, Westbrook's going to be going all out. Just depends if it stays close or if they beat them by 30. Fine spot for Paul George. I don't think I would play Westbrook and George together. I think I would choose one or the other. And you said it, man. Devin Booker, like, I am not going to be fading him. The only way that Phoenix stays in this game is if he balls out. He went for 61 versus OKC the last time. And the shot attempts, I mean, I 30. Can go back almost 10 games and where they're, in the 20s and as high as 30. Tons of three-pointers. But he's also doing rebounding, assists, steals. Like, he's just becoming one of the better basketball players in the league. And if this game were to stay close and go down to the wire, like, he's going to smash his price. I think he's got 75-point upside in the right spot. Definitely 60-point ceiling at 8-9 on DraftKings. You really want like 50, 60 to be amazing. What's his FanDuel price?
Booker?
Yeah.
82.
82. Wow. Love him on FanDuel. But I'll play him on DraftKings too. Especially I could definitely see a lineup where I have Russ, Booker, and, go from there. So if I'm playing anyone on OKC, I'm definitely going to bring it back with Booker. Warren is 6,500 on DraftKings. Let's take a look. The minutes have been great. The shot attempts are there. The usage is good. Paul George is a good defender, but I still think you could take a shot on Warren here at 6,500, just attacking this game. You said you wouldn't play Adams in tournaments. I kind of disagree. I think he'd be a good tournament center. I know he hasn't done well lately, but he has shown us 40s, 50-point upside, and like this is as good a spot as any to do it.
Kind of a downgrade though, because he didn't do that great in the last time, and now he's got Chandler, who's a better defender than Len is. So
I understand that. I just I don't respect either of their defense, and he's getting the minutes. Like I don't see why he can't go for 40 at 6'9". You'd be happy with that. Not my favorite center by any means, but just I could play him, especially if I'm like stacking this game. But Jeremy Grant and Marquez Chris are definitely some value options that I do have a lot of interest in. And maybe a Josh Jackson if I create a blowout build. And then Corey Brewer, I think, is a really interesting take, dude. He's 3,200 on DraftKings. If you're stacking it, it definitely makes sense to include him. He'll help afford those guys. And, it's just it's a way to get different. It is like an opportunity cost. You really just need him to get you 5x. And his discount with the slate where we've only talked about one or two value plays so far, it's interesting. I'm not saying I love it, but definitely something I'll be looking into unless there's a ton of value in this last final game. The San Antonio Spurs, the 5 seed in the West, but literally have a 2-game advantage on the 8 seed, facing Golden State. In Golden State is an 11.5-point favorite, and we've got a 221.5 over/under. Probably another game with a bunch of fantasy goodness. What are your thoughts about this game?
So this game, to me, has a lot of iffy plays, just in the value sections. But up top, point guard Curry, obviously, is definitely in play. I like him here. Same for Murray. He's paced up, but his minutes are kind of inconsistent. His play is a little inconsistent, but he played that last game. These two teams played not too long ago, too. He did not play the last game, so we don't know too much of how to go with that. But, I mean, as long as he gets the minutes, then obviously he's a great play with this pace. But, his last game was, 18 minutes the last game? Against Memphis, 23 before that. It's risky.
Yeah, definitely.
But those are the only two plays I really like at point guard. Mills and Parker are cheap, but they're just too inconsistent for me. Shooting guard, Danny Green's kind of the same thing. He's cheaper now than he was a couple games ago. He's 4,800. You want right around 26, 28 FanDuel points for 6x. So I can see that. I can see him getting there because of the pace, but he has had some duds. So risky play as well. Same for Ginobili, 4,300 paced up. I like him probably more in a stack because he kind of leans on his veterans, and Ginobili in crunch time will probably be out there. He has played well in some of his recent games. I like Ginobili. Nick Young, who's out? It's Iguodala's out.
Yeah, Iguodala's supposed to be out.
They're saying that Caspi is supposed to get some of those minutes, but Caspi's kind of out of the rotation, and Nick Young is playing every day. So to me, wouldn't Nick Young get more of a boost in minutes? I don't think they're really playing Caspi much. He's not playing at all. What do you think?
Well, Jordan Bell had returned, and he sprained his ankle in the last game too, so he's probably going to be out. I would expect Caspi to be active. He was a healthy scratch last game. Nick Young.
They're saying that Looney will pick up Bell's minutes, and David West was also out.
Yeah, is West out as well?
Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
Is he doubtful or out? But he's out. He's not playing.
Nick Young.
Actually, game time decision, but I think he's doubtful. Yeah.
I mean, if West plays, that's
no. He's doubtful. He's not playing. I wouldn't count on it.
So then, say West, Bell, and Iguodala are all out. I would say
it's got to be Caspi, right?
I mean, Caspi, Nick Young, and Looney are all, I guess, viable backups. They don't really have anybody else. They got the point guard dude. I can't think of his name right now, but the guy who plays backup point guard.
McCall?
Is McCall? Yeah, Livingston. Is McCall healthy? He hasn't played in a minute.
No, he's out. He's out.
Yeah, he's probably out too. So I think they're all viable. I don't know how much they would play unless we get a blowout here, but
This is what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of question marks with these all these value plays to me.
mm-hmm.
Just don't know how they're gonna attack it.
Yeah.
So we probably should wait and see if we get word. If they say that Caspi's gonna get more minutes, if they announce that somewhere down the line tomorrow, then that probably would be where I would lean. Other than that, that's it for shooting guard. Small forward, Durant is just not paying off this price. I mean, he's under 10K, 9,800, but he's like barely putting into the 40s. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not going there. Kyle Anderson is kind of expensive. He did play really well a couple weeks ago against them. He put up 44. Last game against Memphis, 32. So he is doing pretty good. But at this price, you kind of need him to go for that again, and I'm just not going to count on it. So I may not go there unless he was a little bit cheaper. Maybe DraftKings, where he's probably, if he's like 5.5 or something like that over there, then I can see that, but not on FanDuel. Rudy Gay at 4.3. There's where I would probably go. Let's see. The last couple of games have been pretty good. Last game against Memphis, he didn't get the minutes, but I expect him to get right around 20 to 25 minutes here, especially if the game stays close. And 4,300 paced up like this is just way too cheap. So definitely like Rudy Gay.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond, power forward, he did pretty well in this matchup. A couple weeks ago, I could go there 7,700. I don't know what's really going on with Draymond. He's not too involved recently. Like, he's just not. I remember the last game, like, he completely was dudding at halftime and then just went off in the second half, thankfully. But yeah, it was horrible. Like,
yeah.
First half, he had less than 10 FanDuel points.
Yep.
But he did pretty well in the second half. I don't know what's going on with him. He's just not as involved as he was before.
Yeah.
But LaMarcus Aldridge, I could definitely go there. He didn't play a lot of minutes in their last matchup. I think it was like 29 minutes or so. Yep, and he put up 38. So if this game stays close, so if I'm stacking it, I probably will have Aldridge in my lineup.
What's Aldridge's price?
He's 82.
82.
The game's close. I could see him going for 40 or 50 if he did 38 in just 29 minutes last time.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Gasol is out, right? So that helps Bertans. Yeah, Gasol is out.
Is he?
Yeah.
I have him as out. Yep.
So Bertans, who do you think starts? Because it's
so he played the last game, but I show him as with 0-minute projection here. So he started the last game with Mills, Aldridge, DeJounte Murray, and Kyle Anderson. So yeah, expect Bertans to start if Gasol's out.
Okay. So yeah, at 40, what is he? 4,400. So paced up, that's definitely a good price for him. I like that. Kevin Looney, like we said, they're saying that he should get some minutes. Has he been playing much minutes lately?
No.
Let's see. No, not at all.
No.
15 last game. That's probably when David West went out. Did he play the last game? Not sure.
No, West did not play, and Jordan Bell got hurt early.
Okay, so that's where those minutes came from. So if he got 15 minutes last game, I'd say he probably get right around 20 to 25, depending on how the game is going. If they're up comfortably, he'll get some minutes. If the game is super close, he probably won't get the minutes. So risky play there. And then at center, the only play I like is probably Joffrey Laverne with Gasol out. He's 3,900. He didn't play a lot of minutes the last time they played. This isn't the kind of game for him because it's super fast paced, but Gasol's out. He's got to get some minutes. And he's super cheap at 3,900.
Yeah.
But again, one of the risky value plays from this game.
So, like, if you had to play one guy on Golden State, who would it be?
Probably be Curry.
Probably Curry, yeah. And, honestly, like, San Antonio's banged up. I know they got a great coach and they're veterans, so, like, I think that they'll do well down the stretch here. But, like, I don't see how they stay in this game unless, like, everyone plays well. So, like, I think it's a situation in DFS where you pick your one stud on Golden State. I'm fine with Curry. I'm fine with Clay. I'm fine with Durant. I probably wouldn't go to Draymond. And then you could literally play like four guys from San Antonio: DeJounte Murray, Kyle Anderson, Danny Green, definitely LaMarcus Aldridge. If he doesn't do well, there's no way they stay close. You could grab one of those value plays, Laverne, Bertans. Definitely think Laverne is interesting. Like, it's another way that they can approach attacking them through him. He's very good offensively. Tony Parker is a cheap point guard. I think I would include in a game stack as well. He played really well his last game. He's got good history here. Like, again, like, I just feel like the Spurs are overmatched, and they're going to need like an all hands on deck kind of situation to keep this game close. Rudy Gay's a good call. Like, I think he'll have to be involved. So I think it's like a stack it on the Spurs side or totally fade it and expect them to get blown out. And I don't know where, if there's anyone that would really benefit, maybe like a Bertans, but it's I don't know. I don't really see this game being close. If I was just building one team, I don't think I'd have too much exposure. If I was building three, maybe like my second or third, I would do like a stack, like I just said, one Golden State stud and then four guys from San Antonio, because they're really all going to have to do well. And all the guys outside of Aldridge are fairly cheap. So it'd work well in a lineup. But, I don't know. I think Golden State's kind of, getting back into form. And I think that they'll win this game kind of convincingly, But, you never want to predict blowouts. So if you're building more than one, I think that's how you approach it. On your main team, you really kind of fade this game. And then on like a second or third team, stack it up and approach the field that way. That's gonna do it.
Is there any one-offs that you like from the Spurs value side? Like, I mean, I kind of like Gay.
Yeah.
Even if the game is like not super close or not stacking it, I could probably still play Gay. I think. Gay and I think Laverne. I mean, definitely not in my main lineup, but I have to have him somewhere because even if the game like blew out, I think he'll
get a lot
be
of
out
time.
there.
Yeah,
he'll be out there. I think
definitely. If this game blows out, he'll play like the whole fourth and be going against like Kevin Looney and stuff, and he'll do well. So
and Bertans, I think in a blowout, Bertans will definitely be out there as well.
Yeah, so I got Laverne at 4,200 on DK, and Bertans, I would imagine, is even cheaper than that. He's 46. I don't love 46 really in either scenario for a guy like Bertans, but I'm much more interested in Gay and Laverne, and then this game stays close kind of build. Like, I think your vets like Parker Ginobili would make a lot of sense with the Danny Green and and a LaMarcus Aldridge.
Would you still include Gay there? I think Gay will still get minutes there.
You can play Gay in both, because I think for this to stay close, they need him to do well. And like, he really helps. You could probably still fit like Booker and Westbrook with a value San Antonio stack. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's a 5-gamer for a Thursday. I told you I like these small slates. You said if you want to play two teams that have to play for similar to that Detroit-Toronto game, then maybe you take a look at the Philly-Miami or that Boston-Minnesota game. Brooklyn-Charlotte, first game of the night, probably going to have a little more ownership in what's, should be a good DFS game. But I'll probably try and, work my team around Westbrook and Devin Booker tomorrow. That's probably where I'm going to go. I don't think it's going to be contrarian by any means.
That's super chalk. That's what won it last time.
Yeah, I know it won it last time, and maybe I'll get different. Instead of Westbrook, I'll go Paul George or something. But I definitely want to have Devin Booker, and I definitely want to have Karl Anthony Towns. He was probably one of my favorite plays. Let's bang out top threes, and then we'll get up out of here. What do you got? Point guard.
Point guard, I'll go Westbrook, Elf Payton, and Tyler Johnson.
Westbrook, Elf, and Tyler Johnson. All right, I'm just pulling up my screen. It'll be up in a second. I will go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have the same thing. Westbrook, Elf, and I'll say Tony Parker, but he could also do nothing. And I think Tyler Johnson's very safe as well. But Tony Parker is definitely going to be an interesting value play for me tomorrow. Shooting guard.
Shooting guard, I'll go Booker. Batum. Shooting guard is so ugly. And I'll go Levert.
Yep. For me, it's going to be Devin Booker, Levert, and D'Angelo Russell. Small forward.
All right, another ugly position. I'm gonna have to go Paul George, Josh Jackson, and Rudy. Oh no. You know what? Let me take that back. I'm gonna go Paul George. Then I'm gonna go down to Rudy Gay, and of course, I'm gonna go with Corey Brewer.
Nice. I was wondering if you were going to remember that.
Yeah, I got it.
I will say TJ Warren. This position is ugly. Paul George and Rudy Gay. Power forward.
Power forward. Let's see. I'll start off with Draymond. God, this slate is so ugly. I'll go Taj Gibson. And I'll go Marcus Morris.
Who was the first one? Draymond, Gibson, and Marcus Morris.
Yeah.
Yep. I will go with Jeremy Grant. Value play. I think one of the better value plays on this slate. Marquez Chris and Frank Kaminsky. All cheap plays. Center.
All right. Up top, obviously, Towns. Number 1. I'll go Adams 2. You know what? I'm going to go in order. Just Towns, Howard, and Adams.
Towns, Howard, and Adams. I'll say Towns for sure. I like the Joffrey Levine idea and Dwight Howard. And maybe Joel Embiid will sneak into a team as well. I like that GPP, probably low on tomorrow. But that's going to do it. Interesting slate. Catch us on the live stream tomorrow. Usual time, 5:30. We'll have this stuff broken down. We'll have the articles up and cheat sheets and all that other good stuff. Don't forget, golf slate. Tomorrow's Thursday, so I'll be locking probably sometime early tomorrow. Cash's golf's been doing really well. I wouldn't want to miss that. And we got NASCAR coming this weekend. I think there's an MMA fight this weekend. If not this, then we got fight night next week. All those extra sports have been doing really well. They've become more fun. Basketball's been tough the end of the year. Some teams are giving up. Other teams have stuff to play for. Rotations are changing up. But, we're still going to grind out. And then when the playoffs get here, NBA playoff DFS is a beautiful thing because all the uncertainty, all the coaches burn you, all that goes away, and everybody's playing to win, and the minutes are very predictable. So looking forward to that. If you are watching us on YouTube, give us the thumbs up, hit the like button, give us some positive comments. All that stuff really helps. If you're watching on Podbeam or iTunes, give us some good reviews. If you are watching on Facebook, like, share. All that stuff helps the nation keep bringing you all the content that we do, and we want to keep doing it. Gonna do it here for us today. Anything else you want to say here, BK, on the way out?
Go light, man. Go light these next couple of slates. It's just the teams playing the way they are. It's not a lot of certainty. So I definitely wouldn't go too heavy.
Yeah, manage your bankroll tight. Baseball's right around the corner. It seems like the beginning of DFS seasons, there's a lot more edge than the end. like I said, NBA playoffs, some of the pros, they jump onto baseball, so the fields get a little lighter. But this time of the year, definitely want to just kind of hang in there and, don't go too crazy unless there's something you really like. 5-game slate, I prefer to get on DraftKings where the multi-position eligibility helps you get a little more different. On FanDuel, there's certain spots where there's just not many options, and unless you get real crazy and play like a Corey Brewer, you're just going to be stuck in a lot of high ownerships. But I do like this size slate, and I think there is some opportunity here. We'll see what the ownership projections are like tomorrow. Hopefully some of the nation did pretty well. I just checked. I did end up cashing tonight my one lineup. I'm happy about that. Scored a 317. Not bad at all. Just one level above a min cash though, but I'll take it. Yep. Tomorrow should be me and Johnny the Greek on the show, and CK if he gets power back. CK couldn't join us tonight because he lost power. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those guys.
I'm in the same area, so I got a lot of snow too. I'll be trapped in here all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not working.
How much snow did you get?
Probably like close to a foot. It's still going, so it's gonna be right around a foot or more. Yeah, it's a lot.
Damn, is it supposed to snow more?
Yeah, all night.
All night. Maybe you get off of work tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I'm off. I'm not working tomorrow.
All right, cool. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me and BK. Thanks for jumping on with us, and catch us tomorrow on the Y stream for tomorrow's slate. For BK, for myself, for the entire Wise Take Nation, we are out. Peace. Yeah.